million cases of foodborne illnesses occur in the U.S. every year. Deaths from food poisoning have gone up more than 4 times due to deregulation. Most of these infections are caused by factory-farmed meat. The U.S. slaughters 93 million pigs, 37 million cattle, 2 million calves, 6 million horses, goats and sheep, and 8 billion chickens and turkeys each year. Now that giant meat industry of the U.S. wants to dump contaminated meat produced through violent and cruel methods on Indian consumers. The waste of the rich is being dumped on the poor. The wealth of the poor is being violently appropriated through new and clever means like patents on biodiversity and indigenous knowledge. Patents and intellectual property rights are supposed to be granted for novel inventions. But patents are being claimed for rice varieties such as the basmati, for which my valley, where I was born, is famous, or pesticides derived from the neem, which our mothers and grandmothers have been using. Reith, a US-based company, has been granted patent number 5663484 for basmati rice lines and grains. Basmati, neem, pepper, bitter gourd, turmeric. Every aspect of the innovation embodied in our indigenous food and medicinal systems is now being pirated and patented. The knowledge of the poor is being converted into the property of global corporations, creating a situation where the poor will have to pay for the seeds and medicines they have evolved and have used to meet their own needs for nutrition and health care. Such false claims to creation are now the global norm, with the trade-related intellectual property rights agreement of the World Trade Organization forcing countries to introduce regimes that allow patenting of life forms and indigenous knowledge. Instead of recognizing that commercial interests build on nature and on the contribution of other cultures, global law has enshrined the patriarchal myth of creation to create new property rights to life forms, just as colonialism used the myth of discovery as the basis of the takeover of the land of others as colonies. Humans do not create life when they manipulate it. Reith claimed that it has made an instant invention of a novel rice line, or Roslin Institute's claim that Ian Wilmot created Dolly denies the creativity of nature, the self-organizational capacity of life forms, and the prior innovations of third world communities. Patents and intellectual property rights are supposed to prevent piracy. Instead, they are becoming the instruments of pirating the common traditional knowledge from the poor of the third world and make it the exclusive property of Western scientists and corporations. When patents are granted for seeds and plants, as in the case of basmati, theft is defined as creation, and saving and sharing seed is defined as theft of intellectual property. Corporations which have brought patents on crops such as cotton, soybean, mustard are suing farmers for seed saving and hiring detective agencies to find out if farmers have saved seed or shared it with neighbors. The recent announcement that Monsanto is giving away the rice genome for free is misleading, because Monsanto has never made a commitment that it will never patent rice varieties or any other crop varieties. Sharing and exchange, the basis of our humanity and of our ecological survival, has been redefined as a crime. This makes us all poor. Nature has given us abundance. Women's indigenous knowledge of biodiversity, agriculture, and nutrition has built on that abundance to create more from less, to create growth through sharing. The poor are pushed into deeper poverty by making them pay for what was theirs. Even the rich are poorer because their profits are based on the theft and on the use of coercion and violence. This is not wealth creation, but plunder. Sustainability requires the protection of all species and all people, and the recognition that diverse species and diverse people play an essential role in maintaining ecosystems and ecological processes. Pollinators are critical to fertilization and generation of plants. Biodiversity in fields provide vegetables, fodder, medicine, and protect the soil from water and wind erosion. As humans travel further down the road to non-sustainability, they become intolerant of other species and blind to their vital role in our survival. In 1992, when Indian farmers destroyed Kargil seed plant in Bellary because of large-scale seed failure, the Kargil chief executive had stated, "We bring Indian farmers smart technologies that prevent bees from usurping the pollen." When I was participating in the United Nations biosafety negotiations, Monsanto circulated literature to defend its herbicide-resistant Roundup-ready crops on grounds that they prevent weeds from stealing the sunshine. But what Monsanto calls weeds are the greens that provide vitamin A and prevent blindness in children and anemia in women. A worldview that defines pollination as theft by bees and claims biodiversity steals sunshine is a worldview which itself aims at stealing nature's harvest by replacing open pollinated varieties with hybrids and sterile seeds and destroying biodiverse flora with herbicides such as Roundup. The threat posed to the monarch butterfly by genetically engineered Bt crops is just one example of the ecological poverty created by the new biotechnologies. As butterflies and bees disappear, production is undermined. As biodiversity disappears, with it go sources of nutrition and food. When giant corporations view small peasants and bees as thieves, and through trade rules and new technologies seek the right to exterminate them, humanity has reached a dangerous threshold. The imperative to stamp out the smallest insect, the smallest plant, the smallest peasant comes from a deep fear, the fear of everything that is alive and free. And this deep insecurity and fear is unleashing the violence we see against all people and all species.